What's up, traders? Welcome back. Happy August 2nd. August not moving the way we expected right off the bat. However, this was always a possibility, and in fact would fit what we've been seeing the last few weeks. So we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We have some housekeeping stuff to do. We're going to announce the winner of the clip of the week. You guys might hear the hottie. Get out of here. I love the crypto divas, the boss ladies. We need more women in crypto. I'm not going to rant about it today. I've ranted about it a lot lately. We need it. They're underrepresented. More women we get into it, one, the cooler and more successful it would be for us because ladies will think it's hot. Two, we double the amount of holders if we proportionally add women. So go out there, recruit some women. Great opener. Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? I'll hand out the prizes. So there we go on that. Clip of the week done, but a new week dawns and more clips can be submitted. So hopefully you guys are in the Discord and keeping your eyes peeled for the best of the best on this channel. Right, it's like a official announcement. I posted it on Twitter. So there is now a Tom Crown coin. I don't know anything really about these. Not claiming that it's an investment of any kind. I just made the account today because I stumbled across the site and was like, hey, I don't have one. I probably should make one before scammers do. And posted on Twitter and on Discord. The market cap was $100. Now we are looking at, did it go up at all again? A $2,000 market cap. That is a 20x. 20x in a few hours. I don't know how this works, man. I don't know. For me, it's for fun. I wanted to see what was going on. I threw some money into it. Yeah, I upped up a little bit despite not such a hype day. So let's take a look at this monthly again. Similar to what we were talking about last month. July 20th, I think it started the 21st, we saw a pattern. And that pattern was candles trading in one direction, aka red, going down. And then by the time they closed, we're looking at this on weekly, multi-days. By the time they closed, and even the monthly, price rallied up into that close. So the entire duration or intra-day of that candle looked bearish to market participants. And by the time it closed, it was no longer. So to see August open this way, not that surprising. Not that surprising, guys. You can see July had a huge wick on the bottom, nearly touched the 2021 open. And here we are sitting at 31 or 39.1. Basically below us, we have some support brought to us on the monthly at 37.2 by June's open. I wouldn't really count on that too much. And a stronger support below us at 35,000. Of course, we have the yearly open. You can argue 30,000, whatever. It's all too close to matter. This is our macro. Monthly, 58.8 still sitting above us. That's about all there is on that bad boy. Yesterday, we were looking at different time frames, and what we were seeing is some weakness on lower time frames. And I was hoping someone would clip this. I had some good ideas, but I can't win. That'd be cheating, right? That'd be cheating. From yesterday, there was a pretty solid clip that was something like this. Where did it go? Something like this. Like that? Close enough. Well, we don't have divergence here on our current low. We do on the low earlier today. We see right here at 38.9, and we don't have the lowest point in RSI. So RSI is not agreeing with price on our lows. That's bullish divergence. No other way to do it. We got this little rally, but now we're back, and we don't have that yet. A move lower without RSI moving lower, or RSI moving lower without price breaking that low earlier today would give us that divergence, but we don't have it. Money flow not looking great on the 30, to be honest. Neither does the momentum. We were yesterday hourly, same as the half hour, except we do have a little. This is weird. A little bump of momentum on this thing. That does not actually look strong to me. VWAP is down. Money flow is down. So similarly to yesterday, shorter time frame's not looking hot. The 2 hours are bread and butter. So let's peek at that. We had a momentum fake out in the last candle. Okay, this is actually some really good stuff. We have how many hours now? Okay, this 2 hour just started. Poop. That's not what I wanted to see. Basically, if this 2 hour candle didn't just open, I would say, hey, we have a good setup. We have a potential setup, something to look for. And what that is in the last 2-hour candle, we saw momentum to the sell side increase, and now we don't. If this candle was close to being closed, this would be great. Since it just opened, we really can't even pay attention to this, but it maybe is something that we can keep our eye on. If this 2-hour does close with waning momentum in almost exactly 2 hours, that's a pretty good sign. That's a good sign of rolling over. When a fake out, like I would call that a fake out if we get that waning momentum. But when we get these, we do tend to see MACD roll over, and we do tend to see momentum shift. So we don't have that yet, unfortunately. I'm trying. We do have a little more divergence, so excellent. This is really not characteristic of what we've seen over the last few months. We saw brief trips get sold off, straight to oversold, essentially. That's what we don't want to see. If RSI on the 4-hour comes down more, we don't want it to get to oversold. We want to hit overbought, range above 50 ideally, but we're not getting that. And then return to overbought. We don't want it to be spending time down here. If it does go to oversold, we want to see the opposite of what we saw on these failed rallies. We want to see it touch oversold, then jump back up. Jump. Just like it did here when it got overbought, jumped to oversold. We want to see that in reverse if we do make it down to that 30 level in RSI on the 4-hour. There's a lot of stories being told here in these indicators. Market cipher. No, this was looking pretty decent yesterday, but we were waiting for a catch here. We're waiting for a catch in momentum. Didn't get it. Did not get it. We do see VWAP is trending down, is trending off, trailing off, but we don't have a pinch in our momentum yet, and our money flow is heading down. So this could suggest that the 4-hour is looking to roll over. That's not ideal. Not ideal for price. Hopefully, when we get out to the 6 and 8, we'll see something a little different. So let's just jump. Yeah, we'll go to the 6. Is the 8 any different? Okay, actually, this is important, so we will look at the 8. So this is the 8-hour. We're looking at market cipher again. Here is the saving grace of that 6-hour that I was talking about. Didn't play out the way we wanted, but the 8-hour, despite having a very low swing in VWAP, we do see the VWAP starting to reverse, losing momentum as it flattens out, starts curving up. But the important takeaway is the 8-hour didn't lose that low. 6-hour did. We were really looking at that 6-hour for guidance. Lost it. 8 hours, yeah, you could argue this, but that's not really a low because you didn't really get a high. That's pretty sideways. If we see a lower low than right here on the 8-hour, then the 8-hour is looking to roll over as well, and that is not good. That would definitely spell lower numbers. 8-hour rolling over, I could easily see 35,000 being tested. That's not a huge move from here. It's about 10%. And in the worst case scenario, especially if this translates out to maybe the daily, we could be looking at a test of our lows, but we're not there yet. We're not quite there yet, thank goodness. The 8-hour is still holding on to hope. The more we zoom out, the more of this divergence we see. So the 12-hour, here we go. Actually, yeah, I want to look at that 8-hour and the other indicators, but 12-hour, we have that same pattern. That divergence continues to get exaggerated. Something positive here is that the 12-hour is still above 50. So in the greater scheme of things, the market is still being bought up, still finding bids. If we see that 8-hour roll over, we're likely to see this 12-hour drop below 50. I don't want that to happen. It could bounce from 50. That'd be extremely bullish. Typically, those are very strong rallies. But man, we are in a precarious spot here. Precarious. 12-hour can suggest that same bullish divergence. We have a pretty low here on MACD compared to the local ones, and our price is obviously still much higher. What this is saying, one sec. What this is saying is that there's more selling momentum in the last 2 days. We see that here with this low swing. Then back here, July 16th. July 16th was right around when we were at 30K testing our lows. That's what divergence is, basically. More selling momentum. No, bullish divergences. More selling momentum, but the market unable or unwilling to go lower in price. So I think logically people can understand this as selling is less efficient, maybe something like that. The same is true in the reverse, of course, as well. Let me look at that 8-hour one more time. I didn't look at RSI and I'd like to. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, I'm glad we took the time. Really glad we took the time here. So 8-hour right here, you can see we're talking about that 50 RSI level, why that's important. 8 hours right on top of it. I'm glad the 8 hour isn't showing as much weakness as the lower time frames because I want to bounce here. Yes, we can go below 50, then bounce, and that's fine. But if we can bounce from this 50 RSI on the 8 hour, that spells for a solid move and a solid move to the upside and probably an easy retest of our highs here at 42.5. Look at the daily, and then I'm going to be done probably with this generic TA. Ew. RSI on the daily, this, man, I really want to see these lower time frames resolve, and then I want to see them swing back to positive momentum, because we have this setup that I don't like here. We have a touch 2 overbought, and now we're seeing that dump in RSI. You can see this happens all the time. This didn't actually hit overbought. You can see this happens all the time when rallies fail. They go into this overbought territory and they dump down. This is actually a great example here. This is actually a great example here because this is what, December, yep, until April. So you can see that we had that ugly pattern, but RSI was really unwilling to go below 50, stayed above, and that kept us in the trend. As a hindsight thing, next time on the daily, when we see that 50 break, we may start looking for retracement if we're in a rally. Because as soon as this broke and price didn't immediately kind of shoot back up, that's when we started losing momentum. That's when our highs started coming down. This is in May when we dumped. So we had 2 trips to oversold. That's what we're looking for on the upside. We're looking for 2 trips to overbought in a row, similar to back here. So that's not the most confidence building thing. I don't want to see this happen again. I want to stay above 50 RSI on the daily for sure. We definitely have some areas of support though that are likely to at least bounce price if price reaches it. If you guys have been watching the last 2 months, there are just so many levels here. The one that we are hoping, I guess, to hold today is right here. We can see this by the daily closes here, rejecting price. 39.3, that's what we were talking about yesterday, I think, as well. Down here, same thing. Price is consolidating at this level. It's creating support. It's creating resistance. It broke it as resistance. It may be coming to test it as support. We did not see that happen on the monthly support. So that's why I say if we see these time frames roll over, 35 is a pretty good bet. Monthly, not tested. Monthly supports tend to get tested. They tend to. The really one till we break, say, July 30th's wick low, that's at 38.3. That's when I would start looking for 35. Because today's candle essentially opened, you can see the 100 sloping down, essentially opened at the 100. And over again, where candles look really bad, and then at the end of the day, they rally up. So there's still a possibility today, despite these kind of bearish signals we've seen, that we rally back above that 100. And now essentially what would have happened is we've closed at the 100 daily, and we've opened at the 100 daily and retaken it. That would be the best, in my opinion, possible scenario right here for this daily. But we don't have that on smaller time frames. We're not seeing that. Not yet. It's unfortunate. We had a beautiful setup. This was a big factor too, with our mid time frames like 6, 8, 12 hours looking to roll, or looking to keep their momentum. The daily came so close to rolling over, and now we're seeing what is not rolling over. It so close, but it doesn't count. It needed to actually make it to positive money flow. It didn't yet. It did probable move. I think even if we do see kind of the worst case, like I said, I think we come back to that 35 and then we look to put in a higher low. We'll have 1, 2, 3, and then I guess move up to that 20 weekly. That 20 weekly and the 200 daily almost crossing. So close. We're probably 1 daily close, maybe 2 at the worst, to seeing this cross. This is not a bullish sign. However, we don't put much weight in these crosses. We don't. As you can see right here, the 20 and 50 crossed bullishly, and that was basically at one candle. That was the highest candle traded. That was the highest candle traded, right on top of it. So they're not good signals, but they usually are attractive to price, and that's how we tend to use them here on the channel, as levels of attraction for price, we'll say. The reason this gets bad if you break 38.3, and we're talking very small time frame now, but the reason this isn't great is because once you do, or if you do here, now you have a neckline. So let's just imagine this happens. Now you have a neckline. Now you can be set up for a head and shoulders. We don't want that. We don't want that to happen. Though that would line up with all of these time frames rolling over if they do. But at the moment, we don't have a neckline. You can't establish a neckline here, and you certainly can't on any of this rally. So it has to be here. There's nowhere else this neckline could be. You could argue on a bigger time frame down here, sure, but we'll get there when we get there, if we do. So that would be not ideal. Break that neckline, move up, lower high, maybe something like this. There we go. Descending trend, reject from it. There you go. Right there would be the entry on that play to go short. Got to look at the chart in every direction. Can't just look at it one way. It'll show you whatever